I'm with Hayden Grove, the singer, great singer of the Great American Songbook, and he's with Team Adam. First off, I'm a huge fan of standards. Where does that passion stem from, and how have you kept that flame burning bright over these years?
Well, thank you for having me, first of all. I appreciate the opportunity. And yeah, I fell in love with the standards kind of on my own. I was kind of rummaging through my parents' CDs and, all kinds of different music, and the standards just kind of stuck with me, whether it was Harry Connick or Frank Sinatra or Dean Martin or Andy Williams or, Sammy Davis Jr. I mean, it didn't matter. But the sound was just it was so beautiful to me. So I loved it. And it felt divine. It really felt like, there was some sort of divine intervention there, that this was kind of the music that I was meant to do. This was what I was supposed to fall in love with. And I certainly did. So it's been since I was a kid, man. I just love it. And I want to bring it to, keep bringing it to, the next generation, the next generation, the next generation.
Hayden, years ago, I interviewed Harry Connick and I asked him specifically about jazz, and he said it takes so much practice to get that kind of freedom when people are listening to the music. And he said it's just so much work. And I'm thinking, when you say the Great American Songbook, is there a special level of just craft and work that you need to put into that genre, or is every music genre one to one? Am I overshooting that?
No, I think when you talk about the genre that I sing, I wouldn't so much call it jazz, because it has jazz influence for sure. But Harry is a true jazz musician. I mean, the improvisation, the technicality, the skill, yes, like that's a whole different thing. And I'm not saying that I don't have jazz influence, and I don't, I've studied jazz. But at the same time, I think he's 100% correct in that, jazz takes a lot. It takes a lot of time. You can't fake jazz. Like, you can't fake it. You have to know it. You have to love it. You have to, really have studied it and honed in on it. And I think the same goes for, the Great American Songbook and these songs that have so much jazz influence. You can't fake it. I think that the authenticity that comes with the music is very real. So I think it's a really, really unique art form. And I think it's one that, it does take a lot of skill and a lot of time and a lot of effort. Again, I've been singing this music for nearly 20 years, and I don't feel like I'm anywhere near mastering it yet. So, just going to always keep listening, always keep working. And Harry's right, man. It takes a lot of time and a lot of effort.
So your choice of Mac the Knife, just reflecting, was that a big go big or go home selection? Because it just seems to the lay person like me to be such a hard song to sing, even though it's such an iconic track.
No, for me it wasn't. For me, that's the song I've sang. I've sung that song my whole life. I've sang it since I was in sixth grade, and I think the reason that I love it so much is because I just think I love the fact that it builds. It kind of starts like soft and gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And I thought that would really work in a setting like this, where you're trying to show different parts of your voice and different parts of your range. So I wanted to make sure that there was I could show a little bit of the lower stuff, a little bit of the higher stuff, and I thought it ended really big and well. So I don't think it was a big go big or go home. I think it was just the perfect choice for what I do. And I think it's a song that I love so dearly, and it means a lot to me. So it kind of was a full circle moment, because the first song of the genre I really sang in front of people was during my school's sixth grade talent show, and I got up there and sang Mack the Knife. So 20 something years later, I had to go back and sing Mack the Knife again. It was a pretty easy decision for me.
Mac the Knife is also one of your cuts on one of your three albums, I believe. And what's it like in general just to record those albums and have them out, and you just have a really good body of work in your resume?
Yeah, I mean, I would love one day to do it with the big band, like to record it with the big band, but I always just wanted to put my own stamp on these songs. I didn't know if I would ever have the opportunity to do it again. So it was just the right place and the right time, and I, put it out. The orchestrations aren't perfect. My voice is not as good as it is now. I think I've worked really hard over the last 5 years, so I just wanted to put my stamp on it. I wanted to put my own interpretation of these classics out there, and because like I said, I didn't know what the future held, and if I was going to get a chance to record again. So hopefully there's some bigger, better versions of all of them coming out, in the next couple of years, maybe with the big band, or in a different way. But I like I said, I wanted to put my own stamp on it, do my own interpretation of these songs, and I feel very blessed to have them out for sure.
Hayden, what are some of the biggest lessons you've learned regarding your journey on The Voice? Tangible lessons that you can apply to your craft, I suppose.
I mean, obviously, when Michael came up on stage, that was he kind of lent his expertise in that moment, and I completely understood what he was saying, and he made a lot of sense. There were some creative choices I probably would have done differently, but I think a lot of the things that I've learned, I tend vocally to revert back to just the deepness and the throat. It gets very throaty, and I think like over my time in the voice and over some the last couple of months, I've really kind of learned to sometimes take it out of the throat and more into the head voice in the middle of your kind of up in this area rather than because when we think Frank Sinatra, we hear that big, beautiful like baritone, and it feels like it's all in his throat, but it's really not. It's a little bit in the throat, it's a little bit in the mask. So I think vocally, that's kind of where what I've really been focused on is taking it away from being bogged down by the throat and kind of opening up, and it's allowed my range to get a lot better. And it's allowed me to hit higher notes easier, and I kind of wish that I was vocally, or I wish that I could do it now because I feel like I'm a way better singer now than I was when we recorded it. But hey, I think I did the best I could at the time, and I really, I gave it my all.
Of giving it your all, I saw one of your videos, I believe it was on TikTok, where you basically showed people a day in the life. You went to two, I think maybe senior centers and then another venue at night. And then I think you were doing a cycle. You were leading a
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Yep.
in the morning, and then you had some gas station food at the end. Great video. Do you do what is the just the motivation to cram so much stuff into the day? Is it because a lot of people get so much joy from your music because you get to see in the video people just really enjoying what you do?
It's definitely trying to give as much joy as I can. It's the fact that I have the opportunity to do these things. This is not it's not an obligation. It's an opportunity. I get to sing to people. How cool is that, man? Whether it's at a senior center, whether it's at a big, beautiful, fancy restaurant at night. I try to do as much as I can because God has blessed me with a lot of energy and a lot of desire to do this, and I'm gonna always give it my best. So yeah, if I like I said, I feel like it's an opportunity. I get the opportunity to teach a cycle class in the morning. I get an opportunity to sing songs I love, for people all day. So I'm always gonna, to bust it the most I can. My grandfather and my dad had tremendous work ethic. They both, worked every day so hard. My grandfather passed a couple of years ago, and I think he worked until he was 85 and he passed at 91. So like he worked, and my dad just retired last year, but for 35, 40 years, it was, nonstop work. So I get the work ethic from them, and I love what I do. So I'm just going to, I may not be the most talented. I may not be the best singer, but I can guarantee you I'm going to work harder than anybody. That's the only thing I can give you.
Being very humble. Also, your mother was, you were saying that she took you to so many vocal classes over the years, and it was so cool just watching you and watching your parents just beam with joy when you're watching it, not just in the moment, but watching it back on television. What goes through your mind when you see how much
Oh,
you already knew that, of course, but what's it like to see it?
I was so excited, man. I was so excited that like because you could see them a little bit during on the stage, but you really can't. Um, and I was just excited to see that they kind of they got to live it. They got to be in that moment, man. You want to give it back to your parents, all the love, the support, the beautiful things that they give you. You want to give it back to them in some way. And I always feel like, I've never given enough back. I'm trying, I'm working on it. But I think that was awesome to give them that moment to, have them be in that environment and see me on that stage. And, my poor mother was so nervous. I could tell she was, shaking in her boots. And my dad is the most calm, cool, collected guy. And he was probably just like, very even keeled. So, to see them, happy, love, or, smiling and hugging and crying and all that, it really was it was a gift to me to watch them do it because like I said, they gave me so much over the years, so much love, so much support, and to give them that moment of joy and hopefully many more moments of joy to come. It means everything.
Hayden, thank you so much for your time. Great job. Good luck with Team Adam. But my final question, I'm going to put you on the spot. You are such a
Yeah.
proponent of Cleveland. After watching some of your stuff, I want to go to Cleveland myself. Putting you on the spot. Cavaliers, are they going to make a run in the playoffs, possibly win? And number two, the biggest, putting you on the spot, the Browns. next season is going to be a good turnaround year for them?
I think the Cavs are really good, man. I think the Cavs are really, really good. I think that, obviously Boston being in the finals last year and winning, I think they're the top dog, but I think the Cavs are going to meet them in the Eastern Conference Finals, and we'll see what happens, man. It's going to be a tough matchup. I'm not going to say I wouldn't say I think the Cavs are going to win that series. I think it's going to be a tough fought series, but I can't wait for that Eastern Conference Finals. It'll be a great one. Cavs Boston. That's what I'm putting my hope in, is Cavs Boston Eastern Conference Finals, and we'll see what happens from there. Browns is tough, man. I mean, they have the number 2 pick in the draft. I think they're going to grab a quarterback in there. Myles Garrett is obviously going through his trade request, so I don't think the Browns are going to turn it around next year. I think it's going to take a couple of years for them to kind of find their way back. But I hope they do, man. I hope that all it takes is a quarterback in the NFL. It's about, once you have a quarterback, everything else kind of falls into place. So hopefully they can land one in Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward, and hopefully maybe they bring in a free agent like a Kirk Cousins or somebody, and hopefully the quarterback can help them to turn around. Yeah.
And thank you so much for your time. Really looking forward to your run on The Voice. We'll continue to follow your music, and especially want to check out your sports stuff with Cleveland.com. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much. God bless. Have a great day, man.
God bless. Take care. Thank you, Rips.
Thanks both.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. For more movie and television reviews and interviews, please subscribe to my Deepest Dream channel. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And as always, thanks so much for your support. Take care. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. For more movie and television reviews